We're now getting a closer look at the mountains of evidence federal investigators collected at the homes of P. Diddy leading up to his indictment. This includes things like ammunition, electronic evidence, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricant.
As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal so that they would participate in the freak-offs.
But we broke a story that Diddy got arrested last night.
Arrested last night in New York City by the feds.
And I gotta tell you, Charles, I have never read 14 pages that contained so many shocking information.
We're taking another look at the bizarre claims made by a man accused of shooting up one of former President Donald Trump's Florida hotels and his connection to Sean Combs.
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. Okay.
In the world of celebrities, some stories feel like they belong in a movie. And the recent arrest involving music mogul Diddy is living proof of this. Today, we take a look at the mysterious life of Sean Diddy Combs, where federal agents made a surprising discovery that left everyone stunned. Following a tip, they carried out a secret operation at Diddy's huge estate. What they found there was more shocking than anyone could have expected. From 1,000 bottles of baby oil used as lubricant, to dozens of firearms and other illegal shenanigans, to videotapes of venereal degrading acts, the FBI finally released a bombshell statement regarding what really goes down during these wild parties Diddy called freak-offs. What was the sinister truth behind all of Diddy's recent allegations? And how wild could these freak-off parties be? Stay tuned to find out. But of course, before we go any further, make sure first that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more updates and videos like this.
I had with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would mess and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean.
Diddy, among other things, he has been accused of engaging in a conspiracy to foster prostitution, racketeering, kidnapping, narcotics offenses, arson, bribery. That is the beginning.
This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs. His lawyer said Combs had come to New York 2 weeks earlier with the intention of turning himself in.
What time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party.
Uh-huh.
The phrase freak-off comes up 27 times in Diddy's shocking 14-page indictment, which accuses him of exploitation, racketeering, conspiracy, and transporting people for the rough trade. The indictment revealed by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York on Tuesday, September 17th, describes the media mogul as a substance addict and a venereal predator who threw wild, substance-filled parties called freak-offs. But what really happened at these parties?
Electronic evidence and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricant.
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know?
Freak-off parties detailed in Diddy's indictment. The founder of Bad Boy Entertainment, Diddy, was known for his infamous white parties from 2004 to 2009 in the Hamptons, New York, where top celebrities including Reverend Al Sharpton attended. But according to the indictment, after his white party stopped, Diddy started hosting a different kind of party.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
The indictment dating back to 2009 claims that Diddy, whose real name is Sean Combs, used force, threats, or coercion to make victims engage in long, intimate acts with male adult workers at these events, which he called freak-offs.
Investigators seized more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant from his home. The court doc states these items were used in something referred to as freak-offs, which were elaborate and produced performances that Combs arranged, directed, during and often electronically recorded.
In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial adult workers across state lines and internationally. The indictment reads, these events reportedly lasted several days and involved multiple adult workers. During the freak-offs, Combs allegedly gave victims a range of substances, including ketamine, ecstasy, and gamma-hydroxybutyrate, to keep them obedient and compliant, according to the indictment. Diddy allegedly participated in the events and pleasured himself while watching. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept video he filmed of victims engaging in intimate acts with commercial workers. The court filing continues. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and substance use. Diddy's staff would reportedly facilitate the events that were at times held at hotels and stocked with controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting.
That Diddy would bring male stars across state lines to participate in these freak-offs and essentially victimize, I mean, that's the way they're putting it, some of the women who were pressured to be part of this.
Hidden cameras. Some of these illegal intimate parties supposedly took place at Diddy's home. A Department of Homeland Security agent who helped raid his Miami house in March recently told the New York Post that Diddy had rooms full of adult toys and bondage gear. These rooms also reportedly had hidden cameras. The agent said the rooms were clearly dedicated to intimate acts, with cameras everywhere, and even compared Diddy to Epstein, calling him just as bad. So if you were in those intimate parties, you were being recorded from every possible angle, including angles you wouldn't have known about, the agent said. Diddy allegedly used these recordings to blackmail victims into coming back. According to the shocking indictment, he forced his female victims into days-long intimate sessions, part of a pattern of maltreatment that reportedly goes back more than a decade.
Bed. Party on the bed. Hey.
The indictment alleges that the women, some of whom were still teenagers, were coerced into freak-off intimate sessions with male adult workers that were often recorded while the music producer pleasured himself. But the federal source told the Post that sometimes Diddy would allegedly just watch the romps from another room. He was also able to watch the action remotely on his phone, cast it onto a TV in another part of the house, the source said. He didn't have to be in the room when the intimacy was happening, although he frequently was. Diddy's employees were allegedly involved in setting up these disturbing sessions. They arranged travel, booked hotel rooms where the events would happen, and made sure the rooms were stocked with supplies like illegal substances, baby oil, lubricants, and extra linens. We have evidence that these women didn't feel like they were free to go. The DHS officer said, and there's video evidence that some of the girls are clearly out of it while these men are having intercourse with them.
Are involved or were witnesses. They bring them in and they sort of lean on them, and it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So
this same source compared Diddy to Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire predator who hanged himself in prison in 2019. In my opinion, he's as bad as Jeffrey Epstein, the source added. These women are young, either barely legal or barely illegal.
But talking about the comparison between Epstein, there is one stark contrast, because Epstein was charged with respect to minors, minor girls. And Combs, despite what you might have heard on other networks, and unfortunately I've seen kind of misinformation, Combs currently is not charged with any crimes involving minors. And while there are some civil lawsuits that name Combs as having been accused of things like having underage girls at his parties or engaging in solicitation of minors, the indictment against him doesn't charge him with anything related to crimes with minors.
Lubrication is key. The indictment supports the freak-off claims, revealing that during these raids on Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles in March, law enforcement found freak-off supplies. These included illegal substances and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. It's unclear why there was so much baby oil, but it's important to note that baby oil is not recommended as a lubricant since it can increase the risk of infections and cause latex protections to break. Sean Diddy Combs went to jail on Tuesday to await his trial. But what was he arrested for, and what's happening now? This significant step comes 10 months after ongoing public allegations against the music mogul. His attorney claims he is innocent, and he has pleaded not guilty. Here's what we know so far.
And I heard a lot of business, because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a Dave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right?
Why was Diddy arrested? Combs has been jailed and is being held without bail in a federal exploitation case. He's accused of running a disturbing empire of venereal crimes backed by blackmail and harmful acts. The music mogul faces charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and exploitation, with allegations dating back to 2008. He's accused of getting female victims and male adult workers to participate in substances, sometimes days-long intimate performances called freak-offs. The indictment also hints at an attack on his former girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie, that was recorded on video.
We're not the same that we was in 2020, that we have excelled, that we have gone to a higher frequency, a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of kindness, a higher level of self-love, to eat the right thing.
The founder of Bad Boy Records is accused of S.A.ing women and using physical force against them. He allegedly got his personal assistants, security, and household staff to help him cover it all up. Prosecutors also claim he tried to bribe and intimidate witnesses and victims to keep them silent. Simply put, he is a serial perpetrator and a serial obstructor. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson told a court. Prosecutors mentioned in court papers that they've interviewed over 50 victims and witnesses and expect that number to increase. They plan to use financial, travel, and billing records, along with electronic data, communications, and videos of the freak-offs to build their case. Combs was arrested on Monday in Manhattan, about 6 months after federal agents raided his luxury homes in Los Angeles and Miami.
Now, they say they found those recordings of the freak-offs during the on his homes in Miami and here in LA.
Which opens up a whole Pandora's box of who is in this.
If convicted on all charges, he could face at least 15 years in prison, with the possibility of a life sentence. The indictment portrays Combs as the leader of a criminal group involved in exploitation, forced labor, transporting people for the rough trade, illegal substance offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstructing justice. It claims he and his associates used his power and prestige to intimidate and lure women, often pretending to be in romantic relationships.
Which they refer to as the Combs Enterprise, which certainly sounds more like a
mob,
like a mob outfit. That it existed mainly to fuel his desires, often his desires.
The indictment claims that Combs would use force, threats, and pressure to make women engage with male adult workers in the freak-offs, which were described as elaborate and produced intimate performances, that he arranged and recorded, resulting in dozens of videos. To ensure the women participated, he provided illegal substances, controlled their careers, used his financial support, and relied on intimidation and attacks. These events could last for days, and both Combs and the victims often received IV fluids to recover from the exertion and illegal substance use. During the searches of Combs' homes, earlier this year, law enforcement found illegal substances, videos of the performances, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, according to prosecutors. They also seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with scratched-off serial numbers from his bedroom closet in Miami. The indictment claims that Combs choked, shoved, hit, and kicked people, causing injuries that took days or weeks to heal. It also says that his employees and associates sometimes prevented victims from leaving or tracked down those who tried to escape. The indictment claims that Combs used explicit recordings as collateral to keep the women obedient and silent. He also controlled victims by promising them career opportunities, providing financial support, and threatening to take it away. He dictated how they looked, monitored their health records, and controlled where they lived.
Often his desires, and they lay out in detail a lot of those desires in this indictment.
As the threat of criminal charges grew, Combs and his associates pressured witnesses and victims to stay quiet by offering bribes and creating false stories about what happened. In a court filing, prosecutors accused Combs and an unnamed co-conspirator of kidnapping someone at gunpoint in December 2011 to help with a break-in at another person's home. 2 weeks later, prosecutors said Combs set fire to someone's car by cutting open the convertible top and dropping in a Molotov cocktail. Prosecutors say all of this was happening behind the image of Combs' global music lifestyle and clothing business. In November, Ventura filed a lawsuit claiming that he had beaten and essayed her for years. She accused Combs of forcing her and others into unwanted intimacy in substance-fueled environments. The lawsuit was settled in just 1 day, but months later, CNN aired hotel security footage showing Combs punching and kicking Ventura and throwing her to the floor. After the video was shown, Combs apologized, saying, "I was disgusted when I did it." The indictment mentions the attack without naming Ventura and claims that Combs tried to bribe a hotel security staffer to keep quiet about it.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
What did Combs and his lawyer say? Not guilty, Combs told the court this week after U.S. Magistrate Judge Robin Tarnofsky denied him bail. He took a long sip from a water bottle and was led out of the courtroom, glancing back at his family in the audience. Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent, said his lawyer, Mark Agnafilo, who plans to appeal the bail decision. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson responded saying, simply put, he's a serial perpetrator and a serial obstructor.
The freak-off sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
Agnafilo admitted that Combs is not a perfect person. He mentioned that Combs has used illegal substances and has been in toxic relationships, but is currently getting treatment and therapy. The evidence in this case is extremely problematic, the attorney told the court. He argued that the case arose from one long-term consensual relationship that fell apart due to infidelity. Although he didn't name the woman, the details matched Combs' decade-long relationship with Cassie, whose legal name is Cassandra Ventura.
That first came to light in Cassie's lawsuit, where she talked about these freak-off parties that he would have at hotels in, she said, in Atlanta, Miami, LA, and New York.
And they were essentially orgies. But the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, who filed this, laid this out at a press conference and specifically addressed the freak-offs.
Agnafilo claimed that the freak-offs were simply an extension of that relationship and were not coercive. It is not exploitation. Not if everybody wants to be there, he said, suggesting that authorities were intruding on his client's private life. He also stated that Combs didn't own the firearms found in his bedroom closet, explaining that he hired a security company. Combs and his lawyers denied similar allegations made by others in a series of lawsuits. Where is Combs in jail? Diddy was sent to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn on Tuesday, a place that some have called hell on earth and an ongoing tragedy. This facility, the only federal jail in New York City, has faced many problems since it opened in the 1990s. Recently, conditions have been so poor that some judges have refused to send inmates there. It has also housed several high-profile inmates, including R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, and cryptocurrency fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried.
We're outside the MDC Brooklyn. This is the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, and the side entrance where you can see there is a significant gate held by the U.S. Department of Justice Federal Bureau of Prisons.
In a statement, the Federal Bureau of Prisons acknowledged the issues, saying, "We take seriously addressing the staffing and other challenges at MDC Brooklyn. A team from the agency is working to resolve these problems by adding permanent correctional and medical staff, tackling over 700 maintenance requests, and addressing judges' concerns." On Wednesday, a judge denied Combs' lawyer's request to let him wait for trial under house arrest at his $48 million mansion on an island in Miami Beach, Florida. His lawyers argued that the Metropolitan Detention Center isn't suitable for pretrial detention, pointing to recent demise of detainees and judges' concerns about the jail's conditions. When asked about keeping a high-profile inmate like Diddy locked up, especially considering Jeffrey Epstein's passing in 2019, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said, "We are concerned with anyone's safety whenever they are detained prior to trial." He added, "I do not connect Jeffrey Epstein taking his own life with what may happen to another defendant while they are detained." Diddy's lawyer mentioned that the rapper is currently in MDC Brooklyn's special housing unit, which has extra security but makes trial preparation harder. He requested that Combs be moved to a jail in New Jersey, but the judge said that decision is up to the Bureau of Prisons.
U.S. attorneys talk about these.
GHB, oxy, ketamine, which he mentioned. MDMA, I mean, just really, Charles, this 14 pages is
They packed a lot in those 14 pages.
Diddy denied bail. Diddy will remain in jail while he waits for his trial. After his bail request was denied on Tuesday, September 17th, his lawyers proposed a new plan to a different judge, offering a $50 million bail package that included GPS monitoring and strict limits on visitors. However, this was rejected on Wednesday by U.S. District Judge Andrew L. Carter, who said the plan was insufficient to ensure community safety and the integrity of the case. Judge Carter agreed with the prosecutors, who stated that no condition or set of conditions could prevent the risk of Combs threatening or harming witnesses, which is one of the key charges against him. Meanwhile, as Diddy's legal fight goes on, people in the music industry have started to share their thoughts on his arrest and the charges against him. 50 Cent. First up is 50 Cent, who couldn't resist making fun of Diddy and the 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil that were found during the federal raid. After Diddy was arrested on exploitation and racketeering charges, the In Da Club rapper shared a picture on Instagram from his appearance on The Drew Barrymore Show and joked about the seized supplies from Diddy's home back in March. "Here I am keeping good company with at The Drew Barrymore Show," 50 Cent's caption began, alongside a snap of himself and Barrymore. "And I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house," he added. 50 Cent has spent the last year trolling Diddy amid the latter's numerous legal troubles. In July, before Diddy's arrest, 50 Cent did an interview with a Hollywood reporter, stating that he had never attended the Mogul's parties because he felt there was just an uncomfortable energy connected to it. The Power producer and actor, who is making a documentary for Netflix about the SA allegations against Combs, also clarified that he was never friends with him, despite their history of working together. "It was mostly work. I wouldn't call it a friendship, because there wouldn't be disappointment between us if we didn't speak to each other," 50 Cent said. "There's points that we work together. Jennifer Lopez actually told him he should work with me as a songwriter in the beginning, and I was around at the early stages, and he could have done my record deal at that point." When asked about why other celebrities haven't spoken up about Diddy, 50 Cent said, "Some of them were involved at the parties and enjoyed themselves, so they don't know what the F is on the tape or what's not on the tape, so they're not going to say anything because they might have had too much fun." Foxy Brown. The rapper shared her thoughts via her Instagram story, writing, "S 'bout to really get crazy," on September 17th. Charlemagne the God. The radio host talked about the so-called freak-offs mentioned in Diddy's indictment on the Breakfast Club radio show on September 17th. If he gets racketeering and exploitation for freak-offs, it will be others involved. Like if you ever ran a train with Diddy, you're probably going to jail, the comedian speculated. If you've ever been butt naked anywhere with Diddy, or half butt naked with Diddy, and there was some women around or some men around that he told you were part of the party, you're probably going to jail. The View hosts. Whoopi Goldberg describes Diddy's 14-page indictment as extensive and disturbing during the show's episode on September 17th. Sonny Hostin added that Diddy was showing mob-like behavior, referencing the details from the indictment. They're describing a criminal enterprise that involved exploitation of underage people across state lines to have intercourse, and they dubbed them freak-offs. She continued, "They raided his homes and found 1,000 vials of lubricant. They raided his homes and found narcotics." Aubrey O'Day. The former Danity Kane member, who has been outspoken about Diddy in the past, appeared to react to news of Diddy's arrest on September 16th. "The purpose of justice is to provide an ending and allow us the space to create a new chapter," she shared via her Instagram story. "Women never get this. I feel validated. Today is a win for women all over the world, not just me," the singer added. "Things are finally changing." Keisha. The singer made a TikTok video reacting to the news of Diddy's arrest using her song, TikTok, that featured the new lyrics, which are a diss to Diddy. She debuted the new version at Coachella earlier this year. The original lyrics read, "Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Wake up in the morning like F.P. Diddy," the song said while Keisha held up her middle finger to the camera and smiled before blowing it a kiss.
Wake up in the morning like P. Diddy. Grab my glasses, I'm out the door. I'm gonna hit this city before.
Dawn Richard. A second former member of Danity Kane also spoke out. We applaud the grand jury's new indictment of Sean Combs, which is strikingly similar to the federal complaint we filed last week on behalf of our brave client Don Richard. Attorney Lisa Bloom said in a statement to Us Weekly on September 17. Given the harsh beating of Sean Combs' girlfriend caught on video and the 8 people who have now accused him of maltreatment in court filings, including Don, this arrest seems long overdue. She had previously filed a lawsuit against Diddy, claiming he manipulated, terrorized, and essayed her. At the time, Diddy's lawyer, Erica Wolf, released a statement on his behalf saying, "It's unfortunate that Miss Richard has cast their 20-year friendship aside to try and get money from him." It read, in part, "Mr. Combs is confidently standing on truth and looks forward to proving that in court." Can you believe all these lies? But what are your thoughts on all this? Let us know your theories in the comments. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.